What would you say to someone, a buyer, who does not want to hire a home inspector?
So I would say that it is a gambling, in the sense gambling because if it is a minor issues, maybe it's not going to give you too much problem. But if how about is a big problem there, right? And I'll give you the example. So there was I'm talking about 10 years ago, right? Is this that one client called me. And he already bought the house, right, without inspection.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Like the offer was firm, or did he have the key?
So he had a position. He moved in.
Oh, he moved in. Okay.
He bought the house. He decided not to have inspection,
Right.
because the house looks nice and good, and so they thought, their friend actually they said that there's one of friend he knows about the houses. He was not an inspector. And he is a tradesman or someone who came and they had a walkthrough.
Yeah.
And
I've had a couple of those.
Yeah. And
not my clients, but like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said the house is fine. You don't need an inspection. Why you are wasting your money, to have this, inspection done. So they didn't have that one. And later on, they start seeing mold, right? And mold was in the ceiling of their bedroom. So they will start seeing those things, and then they saw in the wall as well in the bedroom, right? So they just call me and say, can you come and look at and see what is happening? And so I went into the house and I went into the attic, right? And I was surprised to see that it was a big attic. It was and it was used for grow up.
Yeah.
Yes, it was grow up. So because their friend, who was a handyman, he never thought that attic is something to look at. You understand what I mean?
Right. He was probably just looking at the construction to see if it's
whatever. Like people normally, they will look at the bathrooms, the kitchen, vanity, flooring, the paint, things like that, right? And which is what that's the best they can do. You see, and that's what we need, a technical, skill, to go look at. So how about you put all your savings buying a house that had a grow up. You see that?
And as a realtor, those are very hard ones to sell. You can't get rid of those.
Can't get rid of them. Right?
It's very hard for buyers to get mortgages on those kind of houses. So even if you were able to buy it yourself, to be able to sell a house where those are grow up, very difficult. There's very few banks that will even consider doing a mortgage on that kind of house.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I mean, things like that. So I will not take a risk. I will never take a risk, And if I will tell somebody call me and say, why you are asking fees like this and all this stuff. I say how much you're paying for that house, and compare. These are the pennies that you are trying to save penny, and you don't care about the dollar.
Right.
Just go over there.
Yeah, and like for most of my clients will eventually understand. Like I've had very few cases where they chose not to have a home inspection, and I made it very clear, like that I've told it to them, make sure verbally and in writing, just yes, we can't rely on the property disclosure statement completely, and then there's some inherent risk, right?